Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dela's Voice. What a beautiful discussion this is going to be. I have one more time the pleasure of inviting my friend Austin J Haines, international best-selling author, award-winning speaker, the founder of Emergency Life Coach, and he's actually traveling the states, and today he's in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's joining us from there, and we're going to discuss the topic of trust. Do you have trust? Who do you trust? How important do you think trust is in your life? And how do we develop trust if you don't have it already? So I can't wait to bring Austin on, but I want to please encourage you to share this talk with the people you love. You just never know whose life you're going to touch today by spreading this information. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my friend, Austin J Haines on Dela's Voice. I'm getting to him right now. Here we go. Hello, Austin. Welcome back.
Hello, Dela. It's such an honor to be here with you again. I always look forward to these discussions.
Thank you.
You know, we've been together a few times here for this platform, and I want to encourage everyone to follow your platform. It's amazing what you're doing. And this topic today, I'm very excited to get into this topic about trust.
Amazing. So I gotta say, I'm really selfish in bringing you on here because, first of all, I want to know what you're up to. Traveling to the States is like I'm living precariously through you. So
It's okay. You're allowed.
So I'm glad you're here. But yeah, the topic of trust. I mean, what a great subject to talk about today, and we need it more than ever right now. And to me, that's big because there was a long time in my life where I didn't have trust. I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my life. I didn't trust the universe, God, whatever you believe in. I didn't have anyone to trust in. So I'm so glad that we're going to talk about this today. So
Yes.
walk us through. What does trust mean to you, Austin?
Let me first start off by saying this is a gigantic topic for a lot of reasons. We could spend probably a whole weekend working in this area of trust, specifically in relationships, life, your journey in general. Trust is a prerequisite. My journey of trust and what it means to me is deep and wide. We can use the words that describe it, but it's more of an all-encompassing feeling and experience that I believe we can open up into every single day. I believe with a lot of these concepts, Dela, it's not a proverbial switch that we flip and say, oh, I don't trust. Oh, let me flip the switch. Now I trust. It's a continuing, ongoing process, and trust and strength go hand in hand. And so trust in your relationships, trust in your life journey, I believe it starts with the self. And it starts with, number one, maybe we should talk about what creates lack of trust, because this might be the place where many people find themselves in this area. What creates lack of trust?
Yes, do that, because that's where I found myself a long time ago.
Yeah.
Not so long, actually.
Yeah, and me too. Because lack of trust comes from fear, and usually it comes from a life experience that happened to us that blocks us from opening up again. Whether it's in a relationship or you travel to a destination and something happened and you don't trust people. You say people cannot be trusted. People are looking to rob, steal, cheat. Men are going to hurt you. Women are no good. Going to the extreme, but it's through the extreme we can gain contrast on wherever someone finds themselves. So what creates lack of trust is someone typically that has been hurt. Now, I want to extend grace to the listeners who, if you find yourself in a situation where you lack trust, I'm going to invite you to do something that's counterintuitive. I want you to honor your hurt. Because if something happened to you, it's acceptable that you can feel hurt and you can feel pain. And that needs to be okay in the moment, not forever, not an extended period of time. But we must honor what has happened to us. We must honor our journey. I don't mean we need to accept it. I don't mean we need to invite it in again. I just mean if it happened, it's already happened. And if we can open up to that happening and we can honor our hurt, what it does, Dela, at a subconscious level, it sets us up to accept the next and now, and to be able to create the open space to trust again. One of the things from travel, which is relevant here, is to extend yourself time, space, and grace. Because if you find yourself in a state where you do not trust, time, space, and grace is what is required so you can ultimately get back to trusting. So it's that open space that's first required. Okay, I just want everybody to understand that. And then we can get into some of the strategies and some of the things that you can actively do to build trust again.
So going back to time, space, and grace. So give yourself time to heal, you mean, from the hurt that was caused? Is that what
yeah,
we're
so
talking
it's what I'm talking about is people say time heals. Well, time is necessary, but it doesn't heal. Space means that I can allow myself to experience and reflect upon what happened fully, and in that space where I'm not manipulating anything. See, we typically live where we try to manipulate. We try to completely eliminate the pain. We buffer ourselves from the pain. And I'm not saying you should run to pain, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to get out of pain. But what I'm saying is that when we can allow life to touch us, we can open ourselves up. And that's where the healing can start to take place. Too much of society is about manipulating, muffling, buffering, not allowing ourselves to open up to the experience. Jim Rohn says the walls that you build to keep out sadness and hurt are the same walls that keep out fulfillment and everything that you may want in life. But for many of us, if we've been hurt, it happens at a subconscious level. So we need to allow that opening, time, space, and grace. And there's other elements to this as well, but this is so important. And I found this in my journey too. So I want to let you reflect on this because I know this is a little deep, but I think it's relevant.
So what I'm thinking is, we say things like get over it. It wasn't that important. It happens to everyone. That's just life. Things like that we keep hearing and we keep telling ourselves. And that's what you're talking about when you're saying,
yes,
that's what we typically do, don't we?
Yes, we do. And that's the manipulation. That's the switch. That's the switch.
Yes.
I just want to flip the switch.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So that's great. So I've got some viewers here that I want to make sure we acknowledge. Lizzie T from Lizzie T Show is here, and she's actually talking about her experience, and she said that's exactly what happened. That after her abuse, she trusted no one. Right? So that happens. Like we
and it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I want to say hi to Meti Amadi. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching this, please drop a line because I can only see who's here by your comments. So just say
hello.
Yes, just say hello, so we know you're with us. And leave us your comments. What do you feel trust means to you? How important is trust to you in your life? Okay, so keep going, Austin.
Well, I just want to say hello to everyone from Nashville, Tennessee is where I'm at. I'm honored to be here with you, Dela, today talking about trust. And this is a big one, especially in relationships. And it's been something that has been revealed to me in this journey, metaphorically speaking, because it has required a lot of trust to be able to go out here. I am, like at one point I was over 2,000 miles from home. I've driven over 5,000 miles all across the United States. I've been in strange places I've never been. I've interacted with people that I've never met. And there's a lot of trust that's required there. And I've had people say to me, how can you do that? Because they don't trust people. They don't trust the times that we're in politically here in the United States. They don't trust the they may not trust because of the COVID. They may think that it's dangerous out here. And I just want to say that I've had an incredible experience. Have there been tough moments? Absolutely. Have I had to trust myself? Absolutely. And I think that's a really important message that can we grow? A question for the audience here is, can we grow to trust ourselves more? Because some of us we may not trust ourselves. And I just want to say hello to Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, for being here. We had a online experiential mini course that we created, and Cheryl's in that private community. That was something that also happened on this. And talk about trust. I mean, I hiked down into the Grand Canyon. It's okay. Maybe I can share the story with you here.
Yes, please do that.
Going into the Grand Canyon for the first time. Never been there. Told people what I was going to do. And people said, my friend said, oh, Austin's a marathon runner. Oh, and they said, oh, marathon runners have died down there. Because the elevation change, the heat, and all this kind of stuff. So you got this voice that can kick up, fear, where I talked about fear, can tell you not to trust. Okay? But we went anyway. We did a 15-mile hike, went way down into the canyon, and I had a surreal, visceral, like all-encompassing moment. I have chills thinking about it now. We went down to this lookout point, but it wasn't a lookout point. It's actually it's called the tip-off point. It's where you kind of have to make a decision as to where you're going to go. So over, you couldn't see it, but over this hill, there was this rocky, like big rocks just stacked up, and they went down, almost like an old waterfall, these big rocks. And I hiked down these rocks, only to get to this rock ledge, looking straight down in this incredible view. And as I looked down over this ledge, I don't even know how high I was up, but I could look down and I could see the blue Colorado River, and I could hear it. And it was magnificent. And actually, I was you're in that uncomfortable moment. Like I'm feeling the energy of, oh my God, like look where I'm at. I'm down here. And the clock is ticking, and it's going to get dark. And I have six hours to go back up the Grand Canyon. But you know what? Pulled out my tripod, set the tripod up, and I recorded one of the lessons in the private community that we have. And I don't think the people that know it that are in the community, but I was pretty juiced up in that moment because I had, the adrenaline was pumping and I was feeling it. But it was an absolute incredible moment. And a lot of trust was required to do something like that. And so that's really trusting yourself that you can figure it out. You can do it. And when we comfortably, I don't say comfortably, but when we're willing to get out of our comfort zones, the beautiful things open up. The blue Colorado River opened up because I got out of my comfort zone.
That's beautiful. As you're saying that, I can just imagine, how beautiful of an experience that would be. Sometimes we don't trust because we've had the experiences that we think, if I do this, I'm going to fail. Or I know so-and-so who did it, who failed. So we just don't even go there. We just don't even try. And so,
Yes.
that's definitely a lack of trust in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you like me to speak on that?
Yes, please.
And by the way, I want to honor your audience here because they're listening. And if you have an experience that you want to share, you can feel free. And if you don't, you understand that too, because this is a deep topic, and we all have life experiences that shape us and are impacting our behavior today. And I think this is a great thing that Dela and I are doing because it'll bring the awareness to it. You'll start to think, do I really trust? Am I holding myself back? Is there more I can do? And that's what this journey has been for me. It's interesting, Dela. Like when I started this journey, I wasn't thinking about trust, but as it unfolded, trust became really apparent and a main theme of this, because without it, I wouldn't be here. And I have a deep spiritual belief too, so I trust my Creator. I pray daily. I have a morning ritual, and I'm able to lean in. I'm able to lean into that deep trust, knowing that I'm taken care of always, as well as being able to trust myself in the decisions that I make. And even if I'm in a tough situation, that I will figure it out. And I want to say that to your audience. You will figure it out. You've solved everything to this point, and even if it's chaotic, you've overcome so much already. And in that, you can really pull that you can trust yourself. When it really comes to it, you can trust yourself.
Oh my God, Austin, you touched on something that just actually happened to me yesterday. It was an experience I had from one of my Iranian viewers from Iran who reached out and said, life is so hard. I've lost everything I've had, and I have nothing to live for. I really want to end it.
Oh
And
God.
so I mean, I want to reach out and say, just trust that everything will be okay. But I think when you find yourself in that despair and hopelessness, it's really hard to believe. And I know that you've been there. I know that you have been in that moment. So could you share a little on that? And can you move your camera just a little bit because there's a lot of light. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay, good.
My first gut reaction is it's not your right to choose the end of the story.
It
It's
isn't.
not your right to choose the end of the story. There is a purpose and a plan for every person on this earth. And I know many people have chosen their end. And you may say, well, what do you mean it's not my right? Well, because there's something deeper inside of you that is always at work. Your conscious mind is a small piece of a much bigger puzzle. We are more than our conscious mind. And to allow the small piece of us, your conscious mind, to choose something that is much bigger is a mistake. There's more for you to do. And I know this might be an assertive way or an aggressive way to explain it, but you're being aggressive with yourself. To come to that, you're being over the top and aggressive with yourself. You don't have the right to choose that. And I'll share this with you. This has been a theme. It's in the unraveling is where the revelation happens. So you may be in a difficult situation you may not trust, but there's an unraveling. And if you make a decision early on in the unraveling, you'll never get the revelation. So if you feel like you're hanging on and you're shaking, you're rocked to your core, you think it's over, it's not. There's another side of the story, and there's a next chapter. Allow the unraveling, and I promise you, you will get the revelation.
Thank you, Austin. It's trust changes everything. So I want to ask you, what is the correlation between trust and faith? And not the faith in, the religious faith. I'm really talking about the belief.
Yeah. Well, the most powerful people, and I say powerful, I don't mean I mean the most influential, empowering people on this planet. What they do is they create faith when the evidence isn't there. And this is a deep topic, but I'm gonna go drop something on everyone here that will change your life if you accept it. I'm going to go spiritual just for a second because I want to give some context. But faith is the evidence of things not seen.
Yes.
So what that means is that when I look around at my physical space, I can't see it. I can't see the light. I can't see the next chapter. I can't see the new job. I can't see the new relationship in my physical space. But to become empowering, you see it here. That's the evidence that you want. That's the evidence that matters. Most of society lives their life on the evidence they can see. And it all has value. But I said on an earlier interview, I'm going to say it again here. This is, again, certainty is the drug of the average. Certainty is the drug of the average. And I should say obsessive certainty, because we've grown to live addicted to certainty. I have to know the answers. I got to have predictability. I got to know 1 + 1 = 2. And that all has value, incredible value. But unfortunately, society makes you think that that's all there is. And the creative and the spiritual can be shut down or not given enough life for people to truly have a full life. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. Totally.
Yeah. So faith then is deeply connected to trust, because if I can have faith in what I can't see, if I can have faith sitting here knowing that I'm going to get home eventually after being on the road, it's day 27 here. I've been on the road 27 days. I have to have a sense of trust. And even if I didn't have it in the beginning, I had to cultivate it. And I have to have a sense of faith in what I can't see. I can't see the road that's going to take me home. I can't see at night for driving across a country road, getting caught in a windstorm, dirt blowing my car. I can't see left or right, tumbleweeds in front of me. I have to be able to have faith knowing that I'm going to get to the end of that road. And the sun's going to come out like it is today. Yesterday was cloudy. The sun's going to come out and I will see again. And that's the faith that each person has, and we can cultivate even when we don't feel it and even when we don't see it. You can visualize it.
Can I interject for one moment? I just saw this comment, and I think it speaks volume of what I just said, the despair that people feel in Iran. Okay, I don't know if you can make sense of this. In Iran, they start 3-0 defeated. So like in a soccer game, so they already start with this mindset of defeated. That's how they start life.
Yeah.
And it's such a heartbreaking place to live. Right?
I understand.
And so Austin, one of my biggest intentions is to bring hope.
And I think it's so important. And, I understand that I'm an American. I'm here in America. And things are different here for sure, even in our tough situations. And I know there's places and cultures that are dealt with dizzying, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, difficult situations. And, the only thing I can say is I can use extreme examples, Dela, because extreme examples create contrast and they create hope. And one of the things I do at the live event, I talk a lot about Viktor Frankl. And most people might know who Viktor Frankl is, but he was an Austrian psychiatrist who was in a Nazi Germany death camp. And his entire family was killed. And he survived. How did he survive? We could go back and say, did he get lucky? Because death was imminent. Death was imminent. There's no hope. I mean, if you're in a Nazi Germany death camp and during that time, your hope is minimal to nothing. So how did he survive? I won't tell the whole story here, but what I will tell you this, though, I will tell you this. He visualized himself teaching his students about his experience in the death camp. That is the most glaring example of evidence of what you can't see. Think about the polar opposites. You're in a death camp, death is imminent, and you're visualizing yourself teaching them. They're complete polar opposites.
Yes.
The evidence of where he was is so loud. The circumstance is in your face. You're living it. But he never let go of his vision. So whether he knew it or not, his vision cultivated him. And this is my hallucination. His vision warped and twisted his circumstance so that he was able to survive when others perished. That's how powerful vision is. And that's why it says, those without vision will perish. It doesn't say have a difficult time. It says perish. And that's why I think it's so important for everyone to have a vision. People that are in Iran must create a vision, even when it looks destitute, despair. Vision is what's required. And listening to Dela, working with Dela, creating that vision is what's so needed.
Thank you, Austin. Time and time again, you hear from people in history who have lived through the worst of times, and they have thrived. They've been able to rise above. Just by by envisioning rising above their challenges, and by having trust that it will happen. And it takes a lot of faith, it takes a lot of belief that even though the obvious circumstances are telling you a different story, that something else is at the end of the road. And that's so powerful.
Yes.
So powerful.
Yes, it is. And I know there's a couple comments coming in.
Yes. Did you do you want me to read it?
Yes, please. I want to honor everybody that's on.
It's a long one. So, and it's I'm gonna have to hold on. Let me see. Is it okay if I show it, because it's really better?
Yeah, show it.
Okay.
Yep.
With all respect, I do not agree that this is just you. There are lots and I guess factors affecting your situation. This is true when you are born in an ideal situation where everything is equal for everyone. The thing is, some people are privileged. There are some scientific work about if success is luck or hard work. And amazingly, luck has strong influence. But it is true that to not kill yourself, you should have faith. Thank you for this, Ali. Okay, so I want to pick on this a little bit. Okay, scientifically, what is your take on luck? And personally, I don't call it luck. But what's your take on this?
I think luck is what's produced when we can't explain good fortune. But I think, luck to me is 1 + 1. It's almost like, how do I say this? Luck is when like 1 + 1 starts to equal 5, 6, 7. In other words, it doesn't compute. Good fortune doesn't make sense. How did that happen to that person? Oh, they're lucky, right? But I would venture to say that a lucky person has some type of vision, albeit weak. They're working, and they're able to, let's say it this way, they're able to level up their emotions. You may not be able to go and feel excited because your circumstance is so tough, but what can you do to feel better? What are you doing to feel better? It's one of the concepts of Flashpoint, that regardless of the situation, circumstance, what can we do to feel better? Let's go again extreme. In a Nazi Germany death camp, you might have saved the ends of a piece of bread, and you tucked it away, and no one saw it. And then late at night, when everyone's going to bed, you pull it out, and you get to eat that little piece of bread, and it boosts your morale and feel better. So, what can you do to feel better? And then keep moving forward. And then all of a sudden, if I told you the full Viktor Frankl story, you would say he's lucky. But when you dig in deeper, he had vision. He took action. And the most gross circumstances that anybody could be in.
Yes. I want to say, okay, so let's see. There's one more comment here from Ali. Staring at the Sun is a book that he recommends. Thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. your comments, Ali. It, you know, I wanna say this, and I'm so grateful for the work you do, Austin, because um, I know that we can't reach everybody. But in my heart, I believe that the person who is ready for this message will hear it. And if you're sitting here watching this show and maybe something clicks, take a few extra minutes and dig deeper. Because here's what I want to say. At the worst of my time, when things were really bad for me, um, and I realized that they were bad for me, comparatively speaking, maybe they're not as bad as for someone else, but they were really bad for me. Um, I had a choice. I needed to decide whether um, to ask myself this question, and I think James always asks this question: how's it working out for me? This is the way I believe. This is what I believe. This is what I've been doing. These have been the thoughts, my frame of mind. How is life working out for me? And regardless of the circumstances around me, I can still change my thoughts. And that's what saved me, was because I decided that I needed to change things for me. And that's how I saved myself. What's your thought on this, Austin?
Well, I think it's important to let everyone know. I mean, that there was a moment in my life where I said my life is over, and I believed it. I believed that my life was done, finished. And there's, I think many people will relate to that, where they felt like it was over. I believe there's a sequence and there's a ingredients to turn that around, the turnaround story, if you will, flashpoint, which is the work that I'm doing. And all I've done over my journey, because how did I go from my life is over, bankrupt, broken relationships, to being in this space, and certainly, on my journey here? How did that happen? Well, it can happen for some people. They would get maybe lucky, and somebody could come into their life. It could be an unconscious process. But what I found is there's a conscious process to a turnaround story. That there's ingredients that we need to be conscious about that can literally turn things around. It will seem like luck. It will look like luck, but it's not luck. Luck is when we can't fully measure where it comes from. You see, I think it's Henry David Thoreau. So basically, I'll paraphrase. It says, when one advances confidently in the direction of one's dreams, one will awaken to unexpected success in common hours. See,
you need to say that again, please.
Yeah, when one advances confidently in the direction of one's dreams, one will awaken to unexpected success in common hours. And that's luck. Because the certainty brain society wants to always know that this plus this equals this. But the universe operates very differently. And that's why people say it's luck. It's really not luck. It's universal principles that are weaved into the fabric, and we're not going to always know where the good fortune comes from. All we can do is control our circumstance and make sure we're putting in the necessary ingredients. It's like if I go bake a cake or I plant a seed to grow a tree, I don't know how the tree is going to look. I don't know what the tree is going to look like. But I know if I water it and I make sure the environment's right, that I'm going to grow a tree. Society wants to know what the tree's going to look like. And if they don't know what the tree looks like and they see it, they go, oh, that was lucky. See what I mean? Or maybe another seed sprouts out and another tree grows up, and then they got two. And they go, oh, that's lucky. Well, no, I planted it, I watered it, I fertilized it, and this is what happens. And sometimes in life people say you get what you deserve, and I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Because what I've experienced is You either get worse than you deserve, or you get better than you deserve. Very rarely do you get exactly what you deserve. You're either on getting better than what you deserve, or you're getting worse. You ever say, I don't deserve this? You ever hear somebody say that? I don't deserve this. It's because they made a bad decision, or they had an error in judgment, and now they're getting worse than they deserve. But the opposite is true. If I start making good decisions today, and I start to consistently do it every day, I'm going to wake up with better than I deserve at some point. And everybody's going to say, that person's lucky.
Yes, yes. And somehow when you believe in luck, it's like it's not in my control. It makes me powerless. Right. And there's no power in believing in luck to me personally. I don't know what Ali feels about that, but I agree that yeah, making the right decisions. As you're talking, I had an aha moment. Like, it's so big.
Flashpoint. The flashpoint.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's bring it back, and so that we can keep going. I can stay here and listen to you talk for an hour, but I know that's not possible.
Well, you can come to the live event we're having.
Right. Yes. Okay. So talk about your live event, Austin.
Well, we're doing this is gonna be my first live event since I resigned from working for corporate America for 19 years, and I quit. I was having my best year yet in my career last year, but I made a decision to leave and to pursue this passion, purpose, what I'm doing now. So one of the things that gave birth was Flashpoint. Flashpoint it's your turnaround story. It's what are the ingredients that will create a turnaround story for you? What does your turnaround story look like? So Flashpoint, this is version 1.0. We're not doing heavy marketing right now. We want to keep the numbers at a certain level until we make it better and we're ready to go to the masses. So we're sharing it in little circle here. It's a live event. We're going to have 25 people in person. 20, maybe 20, it depends, 20 to 25.
Like, look at us. Oh,
I know.
25 people.
20. It's people, because you know what? I believe that we can wear the masks and stuff, but I believe people want human contact. They want people. Thanks, Cheryl. They want human contact, and we can be responsible about it, but I want to love on people, right? I mean, I want to get some hugs. I want to love on people, but we're also going to stream it. So I have a stream ticket, and we have a live ticket, VIP. And we're also going to do a follow-up for this. Like after, we're going to have a few days where we follow up with people. How was the experience? What can we do to help you move forward? We want people to grow. Because no matter where you are, it's about growth. You're either growing or you're dying, as we know.
Yes.
So but are we consciously growing? Are we consciously growing? So that's what Flashpoint is, December 4th and 5th. It's going to be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. Streaming and live in person.
That's amazing. So all that information can be provided if people reach out to you on your website, austins360.com.
Right, or we can, Dela, we can share the link here for everyone that's listening, right? Because we're gonna have a link we can share here as well.
Okay, so that would be great. Would Cheryl have that link so she can, if Cheryl can put up that link, that would be great. So that people can, yeah, perfect. Okay, all right, Austin. We are coming close to the end of our show today, and I want to thank you for being here. But I do want to give you a couple of more minutes to leave us with whatever you would like. Make it loud, make it clear, my friend. There's people here who need to hear you.
Yeah, so I just want to honor, I don't know, forgive me, I can't pronounce the name, but there's somebody on here, and I completely understand what you're saying about some people have an advantage. And I'll just go back to what John Wooden says. John Wooden is he was a coach for the UCLA college basketball team. He won 7 national championships, unprecedented success, just unprecedented results that are still marveled at today. And the one thing that his father taught him, do not try to be better than anyone else. but never cease to be better than you were yesterday. So I understand the metrics and the measurements are so important because there are factors that give people an advantage. But but you also have an inherent advantage. And what's become very clear to me in my journey is that I need to be uniquely me. I need to be, from my heart, my message, void of what anyone thinks about. Because the more I try to be like somebody else, the more I'm measured based on the standards and the metrics that everybody's using. The more I might be, the more I am myself, I'm true to myself, and it's even if it's against society. But if I know I'm heart-centered, it could be messy. People could look at me strangely. People could judge me, but I will blaze my path that's unique to me, and I will reach my full potential. And that's all this life wants from you, is for you to reach your full potential, whatever that looks like. And the best way to do that is to get back into your circle of what you can influence. What can I influence today? Smiling at a stranger is influence. Looking somebody in the eye and saying, I understand you, that's how you make a difference. Because we can think that we have to do all this. I have to write a book, I have to come up with a dissertation. But I've been all across America. I've met all kinds of people, and I've gotten nothing but positive response. You know why? Because I look people in the eye, and I want my eyes to say to them that I care. And I know if I can do that, I open up that connection. And that, does that mean everybody responded to me? No, it doesn't. I've had some people, and I can feel it, just disconnect. But doing that has enabled me, and trusting that I can connect has enabled me to have these incredible experiences. And so the reason why I'm sharing that is because I want you to understand that it's in your micro decisions every single day, every interaction, every thought, everything that you do is weaving the fabric of your results. And I'm sorry I'm going on a little long here, but this is important.
Austin, can you move your camera so we could see you? Yeah,
sorry.
Thank you. No.
So I want people to understand, like, especially now in America, the noise is so loud. The political noise is so loud. And I can get caught up into this one and that one. And what I found is people waste so much energy on this. You know, here in the United States, you're going to vote once. You might be a political activist. You might be out there doing things in your community. I applaud you. But what can you do? Because it's the people that put on the boots and the suits every day in this country and go out and work, and they do the best thing on their job. They're the ones that make a difference. And I find that a lot of people that get sucked into the rhetoric they lose trust because their focus is on something external that they don't have any influence on. So I want my call to action for your audience is to take action in your own best interest in a way that's going to set an example and serve others that are right next to you. They say charity begins in the home. It begins in your friends, your family. Start there and start to cultivate some level of proactivity and, you know, even in the toughest situations. So I just wanted to share that, Dela. I know I'm going a little long here, but I just felt compelled. I want to honor your audience. I understand that there's some really difficult situations and there's some really tough things going on out there. But I just want to invite you to step into your power because that's what matters. And when you do that, you'll set an example for others. I promise you will.
Yes. Thank you, Austin. Great message. And I want to thank everyone too who's been here all along with us. Great. Ali, thank you so much for your comments. I want to say this: don't ever apologize for a different point of view because we are all allowed to have our own opinions. It doesn't mean we cannot get along. It just means that we have our own opinions. That's all.
Absolutely.
It's really important to talk about it and to make it known. So I want to acknowledge you. I appreciate your comments. Thank you so much. Just the fact that you're here listening, means a lot to me. So I want to acknowledge you. And for everyone who's participated and who's watched us, I hope you took something from this talk. And if you did, please share it with your friends so that they can also benefit. Austin, I want to thank you so very much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
On your travels. I wish you the best of luck as you finish this journey. And your live event is going to be fantastic. It's December again.
4th and 5th. It's a Friday and a Saturday.
4th and 5th live event.
Yeah.
Woo! So exciting.
Yeah. Thank you. So Dela, I want to see you there. I'd love to have you there.
Oh my gosh.
We'll figure it out.
It'd be so nice, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can make the travel from Canada into the United States.
That would be so good.
I know, right?
So good.
So amazing. Please give us that link in the comment section so that people can find you. Yep. And I will for sure put it on my Facebook as well to get people directed to it as well. So with that, I hope to see you soon, my friend.
Yes. Love and blessings, everyone. Thank you. God bless.
And you too. And for everyone who's been watching, again, thank you. Thank you so much. And as always, this was Dela's voice, hoping to spark your soul. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye for now, everyone.
Every single person in this world has a story to share. Your story is your superpower, and it's unique to you. In sharing it with the world, you can impact millions of people. If you keep it to yourself, you are doing the world a disservice. This is Dela. I'm the host of Dela's Voice, and I help you share your superpower with the world.